All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast. I'm your host, Jay Teagues, your high performance coach, and I'm excited to be here. Before I get into today's topic, real quick, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe so you're notified of future episodes of the podcast. And go to Do Hard Things Nation if you want some amazing motivational gear that's going to inspire you to do hard things. Go over there and check out what we got. Go to dohardthingsnation.com. You can also see what events. And if you're listening to me, I'm live on YouTube. I'm live streaming this right now, and you probably see me. I just got off the treadmill, so I'm a little sweaty, and I usually have this podcast in the hopper before a Wednesday, and the bottom line is I'm kind of at a point where I have got a lot of irons in the fire. I had almost considered not doing a podcast today, and when I got up this morning and I got on the treadmill, I'm like, this just isn't sitting right with me because I've never not had a podcast in. I'm wedging this in real quick. So this is going to be a very short podcast before I zip my kids off to school and do a whole bunch of things throughout the day. But real quick, I had the idea of not doing the podcast today because I feel like I'm overextended in so many ways. And yesterday in my coaching session, we're talking about commitment. And when I woke up this morning to get inspired and motivated, I looked up something on the topic of commitment. And when I got on the treadmill, I'm like, okay, I'm not dropping the ball. So I'm here. So I want to talk about commitment. And I'm sure, you got to remember why you started in the first place. And that's what helped motivate me to turn on the mic this morning to get in here to get this done, because commitment is staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood has left you. And when I read that, I'm like, you know what? Despite my mood, I committed to 2 years of this podcast, and I'm so close to that, and I'm going to continue to move toward that, and I'm going to show up anyway and do it anyway. And when we think about like goal setting or anything lofty in our life, you've got to remember why you started. And commitment is staying loyal to what you said you're going to do long after the mood has left you. And before you commit to something, just remember, you just think about what it is that you're going to commit to. And the first thing in any venture, any goal, anything that you want to do is you've got to decide what it is specifically that you're going to do. What's the pressure point in your life? What's the area that you want to fix? There's a reason that you want to pursue that goal. It's going to have some type of significant improvement in your life of some kind. And so what is it? What is the outcome that you're trying to pursue? So many people say, I'm teaching this semester, I'm teaching geography and geology. So I got students like, man, I wish my geology grade wasn't so low. Well, that's just like wishful thinking, right? I wish all sorts of things. I wish I were in Europe right now. But wishing isn't commitment. It's just simply daydreaming, and it doesn't change anything. But if you dig a little bit deeper from your wishful thinking, you can actually identify a goal that you want to achieve. And all you got to think about is, what do you want to change in the future? What is it that you are seeking? What is it that you want to do? And then you earmark that goal and then put a timestamp on it with some specific measurable results, and you can achieve it. So the formula for this is identifying a time frame, identifying your desired outcome, achieving a goal, identifying the tactic that will enable you to achieve that goal, and then you start implementing that tactic on a regular basis. So back to that geology student that's failing my class, right? So what if I said by the end of the semester, you want to improve your grade from an F to, maybe getting a C, maybe a C minus, because you're great. And I had this conversation with the student, and like brainstorming, like, hey, what's going on in your life? Like, what can we get done? I'm going to dock points if you do some, but we can at least get you there. And because their desired outcome is to pass the class. And so we developed a goal and a strategy to get them from a failing grade to at least passing the course and achieving the learning outcomes that I need for that student. So we brainstormed a plan and we worked together to get there. And we went from wishful thinking to an actual plan to get the student across the line. And we'll see what happens. They don't have much time because they got the due date cut off next week to get all their work done if they failed. So when you think about your life and a goal that you have, what is it, something you've been wishing for? Man, I wish my health were better. I wish I I wish I could lose 20 pounds. I wish I had, 5,000 in the bank. I wish I could start this new career. I wish I could start this project. I want to start a podcast. Okay. Well, what concrete steps do you need in order to achieve that? And what is it? Dale Walls recently said something. You might be in a, you've worked your way down into a pit, and you've got to build your ladder to get out of the pit. And that ladder is the action steps that you need to get you from where you currently are to a position of where you want to be, which is let's call it a well, right? Being stuck in a well, I can't imagine that's a good thing. But if you want to get out of the well, you fell into a well and you have the ability to create a ladder. The ladder are the action steps that are going to pull you out of that well so you can get back to where you want to be. So what are these specific action steps? And the rungs of that ladder are the steps you need to take to get out of this well. And so, for this particular student, for example, okay, hey, we need to develop what are the assignments that I failed to miss that I missed, and let's develop a plan and work in time and space of when we can get caught up on these. Maybe you need to join a study group with other students within the class to help you out with that if you're struggling. Maybe you need to get some extra tutoring, right? Maybe what is that for you? And then now it's deciding, okay, are you going to put the time and effort in despite all this other stuff that's happening in your life to, pursue that, to get the good grade? And, all this is it's really planning. It's planning so you can set the clear goal. And but it's all meaningless if you don't actually commit to doing any of these things, right? So you've got to, commit. You got to commit. And committing is half the battle, right? But committing is being loyal to yourself long after the mood has left you. And so whatever it is that you have in your life that you want to change, something that you want to achieve. One of my favorite, I used to do P90X, listen to Tony Horton, and their tagline was decide, commit, succeed. You got to make the decision that you want to change. Take that wishful thinking and decide, you know what? I'm going to change that aspect of my life. Set the goal, determine the tactic, show up with commitment, consistency. And you may need to help you with that commitment level, because long after the mood has left, you need accountability. And accountability comes in a couple different ways. It's the team around you. Maybe it's your life partner, your significant other helping you there. Maybe it's friends. Maybe it's getting that accountability partner. Someone, maybe you can enlist and recruit someone to join the journey with you, right? Because you're more apt to show up if you got that extra level of accountability. Burning the ships, letting the world know what it is that you're wanting to do. So they ask you about it. Those are some just basic tips and strategies to help you stay committed long after the mood has left. And for me this morning, like I said, I almost thought about not doing a podcast today because the mood has left me at the moment because I got so many irons in the fire. But I'm like, you know what? When I look at all my success markers of what has got me to this point, doing this podcast for a variety of different reasons, it fills my cup. I learn something, I engage, and it gives me an opportunity to connect with other people. This is important. And what I've done is I've overshadowed some of the other things I've been working on, and I almost let this go. And I'm like, I can't. This is too important to me. I've committed to this. I want to get to that 2-year mark. And so that's just my own journey with commitment. So full transparency, I woke up this morning and I read this to inspire myself and talk through this with you in real time on something that I'm facing. And hopefully it inspires you and helps you stay committed to a goal. So commitment, staying loyal to what you said you're going to do long after the mood has left you. So with that said, short, sweet podcast this morning. I got to get my kids off to school and crush the rest of the day. I hope you have a fantastic day. Keep doing hard things. We'll see you guys in the next episode.